Okay, we spoke already about eating before Tkiyas Shofar. I'm not going to go over it, but just a summary. Better not to. Ideally, if somebody could do it without a problem. But if there is a problem, somebody feels he cannot go this whole davening till 2-3 o'clock without eating anything, then there's a time to eat something in the morning, te'ima, coffee, a piece of cake. Now we're going to talk about. There's many places they make a kiddush between after shacharis, after kriyas haTorah, before tkiyas and mussaf. So first of all, if it's the right thing to do to make a kiddush, and also the question would be, do you have to make? The kiddush is giving the refreshment. Do you have to make actually the kiddush? Or maybe you could just eat the refreshments without the kiddush. Why would we say both ways? One way, okay, you're eating now. You're gonna eat mazonis. You have to say kiddush before. How could you eat before kiddush? You could say. On the other hand, we could say in the morning when you eat, you don't make kiddush according to most poskim because it's not zman seuda yet. It's just te'ima. Since it's not and kiddush lo mukim seuda, it's not zman seuda. Maybe we could argue before mussaf. Maybe it's also not zman seuda. It's a te'ima. If it's te'ima, why do you need to make kiddush? So. And there's another question, if it is so, could you make a su'uda before mussaf? So we're going to discuss this now. Okay, here's what is brought in Hilchas Shabbos, Reish Pei Vov, in a tour. Aval pi, shen aloche karavuna, d'omar osor litom, l'odom shitam klum kodam musfin, v'kol mokem tzorich lispal es kodam achila. So first I'm going to mamash briefly the Gemara and Brochas, Daf Chofches Amud Beis. Says the Gemara like this. Doma Ravuna, Osur lo odom sheyitom klum koidam shespal tfilas hamusfin. Ravuna says you're not allowed to have not only achila suuda, even te'ima. Te'ima meaning you want to have a coffee, a piece of cake, a fruit. Ravuna says you're not allowed to do that. The Gemara Pasken, a few lines later, Amar Rav Abba b'tzibur shonu, what negeh to us, v'les hilchasa, loy Ravuna v'lo Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Halacha not like Ravuna, meaning Ravuna says you're not allowed to have te'ima before mussaf. Halacha is not like him. You're allowed to have te'ima before mussaf. Look at Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. The Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, "Kevan sheyigiz zman tfilas hamincha, also lodom shi'itom klum kodem sheispal tfilas hamincha." Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi also was machmir like Ravuna, l'gaba mincha. You should not have any te'ima. Comes man mincha till you daven. The Gemara says, "Halacha is not like them. Not like Ravuna that you allow to have te'ima before mussaf, and not like Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi that you allowed to have te'ima before mincha too." So that's what the Gemara in Baruch says. So comes the Torah and it says like this: even though the halacha is not like Ravuna, and you're allowed to have te'ima before mussaf, it says mikol mokem tzarich lispalol oisa koidam achila. It's preferable you should eat it before. Why? If halacha not like Ravuna, you're allowed to have te'ima. Why do you have to daven mussaf before? The East of Maseches Tainis, the Perek Gimel Prokim, Gabanesias Kapayim Shacharis Umusaf, the Lashkicha B'Shichris. Bekitzur, why don't we make Nesias Kapayim? We make it only by Shacharis Umusaf. We don't make it by Mincha. The mitzvah by every davening to Levarach Yisrael, the Kohanim. Why don't we make Nesias Kapayim? The Kohanim. Why they're not duchen on Mincha? So the Gemara says because. Shachris with the loshkicha b'shichros. People don't eat the suda yet. Shachris and musaf. Memela, there's no chashash the kohen might become a shikr during the suda. Take some wine or alcoholic beverage. Memela, you were doing nesias kapayim. Masha'enken by mincha already. After suda, he might become already shikr. Maybe because of that they made a gezerah. There's no nesias kapayim by mincha. He says. Alma and derech l'achal koidem. Mashma, there's no derech to eat before shachris or musaf. So that's why even though al pi halacha te'ima muteres before musaf, but l'maisa the minhag he says that was the derech. The whole thing is gezerah, meaning if a kohen knows a shikr, he can duchen, whether it's a morning, whether it's in the mincha. Elamai say all minchas, no duchen. He might say gezerah. You might find some kohanim shikr at that time. So since by musaf the minhag is not to eat, milta de lashikha lo gozru berabban and memela. It says the minhag is not to eat by musaf. Memela you're allowed to. So the way the Beis Yosef learns pshat over here, lamaisa, I'm making it bekitzur. That really mitzad ikar adin you would be allowed to eat before musaf te'ima, not achila. Achila also, but since The minhag olam is not to eat then, memele, and that's why the koyanim do duchanan, because we're not choshesh for shichrus, because people don't have a suuda then. That's why it says mitzad. There's a inyan taka not to eat, but if you have to, you could do te'ima, but achila asura. That's the conclusion of Beis Yosef. The te'ima you could have before musaf, achila suuda you're not allowed to. This is how the Beis Yosef learns the pshat. The Bach is very, very much opposing the Beis Yosef on this, and he says like this: the Medina shore afilu suuda. According to the Bach, you really could make, whether at home or shul, a big suuda after shachar is before musaf. The Medina shore afilu suuda. The man the cholish libe. Obviously, everybody must him. If you don't need to, meaning you could continue musa without the problem, there's no heter. But the man the cholish libe, somebody feel I can't continue, I need to eat. You could make even full suda with washing, according to the Bach. He says like this: the kosher aletu, meaning lispal, it's not difficult. It's difficult for him to continue to daven. Musvin mekama achila before eating. Sholel echel mekama tefila the bahai milsa matzah inish l'hokel keneged aminag. He's masking from that raya of the two. The minhag was people didn't eat before musaf. But you could go against this minhag, he says, even though the minhag is not to eat, because you need to daven and you need the koyach to daven so you can make suda. He knows what the Beis Yosef paskent, only te'ima when you need it, says no, he disagrees with him. He says, then he goes like this. At the end he goes like this. One detail he adds over here. Ela adavar poshut, the tzorich lekadesh. The Bach paskent like this, not like Beis Yosef, that only te'ima, even su'uda you could do, but it at least make a kiddush, he says. Then you could daven musaf. Okay, so Lamaisa, according to Beis Yosef, you could have only te'ima before musaf. According to the Bach, you could have whole suuda. In Shulchan Aruch, the Beis Yosef brings mutar litam kodem tefillas hamusvin. Again, te'ima, it's refreshment. It's not full suuda. Dainu achilas peres or afilu pas muat. Yeah, even a little bit bread, muat means kabeya or less. Afilu te'ima sheish b'gdalisad alev, or you're going to eat a lot of fruits or a lot of that could satisfy you. Aval suuda asura, big suuda you're not allowed to. So it's interesting that the Mogen Avram over here paskens like the Bach, that if you have to have the suuda, you could have it. That's what the Mogen Avram says. Especially he says, the whole idea why you're not allowed to eat before certain things you do mitzvahs or davening, you might forget, you could get carried away with your suuda, forget to daven, forget to do the mitzvah. There's an opinion in Gemara, if you're b'minyan, the minyan reminding each other, and if you're alone, he says there's an opinion you potter from tefillas hamusvin, somebody davening alone. The Mele says you're allowed to eat suuda. However, the Taz, the son-in-law of the Bach, he's very much opposing his father-in-law, and he says, "V'yesh chiluk ben tima la'achila, v'chalila lahokel b'suda kadam ha'musvin." Not only he disagrees, he says, "V'chalila," Chaz v'sholom says to be making like my father-in-law said, no, you cannot do suda. Now, normally, it's interesting. Normally, the Alter Rebbe would follow the Mogen Avram. In this case, the Alter Rebbe follows the Taz. He mentioning in his Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe, Shulchan Aruch Harav, he's mentioning only tima. He doesn't mention about achila. He didn't say achila. He mentioned just tima you're allowed to do. Now, and interesting that the Mishnah Berurah, he dafka follows over here the Bach. The reason for it because the Mishnah Berurah usually followed the Elia Rabbah. And the Elia Rabbah, he sides very much with the Bach, and he brings rayas against the Taz. Says the Bach, the father-in-law, was right, he says. So Lemaisa, again, all of this b'shas atzoyrech. Again, ideally, because of musaf, because of tkiyas, if you could, from the morning all the way to wherever time you finish your davening Rosh Hashanah, ideally to go fasting, if you could. This way you hear the shofar without eating before, you daven without eating before. But if cholash libei, if you feel you're weak, you cannot daven like this, so then there is a lot of matirim, and legabe the Kiddush is like this. So again, you're allowed to eat te'ima for sure. Most shuls don't make a suda; they make te'ima. They give some refreshments to fuel people to continue to daven. That looks like there's no problem. That you could do.
It's with Kiddush.
Oh, Lagabe Kiddush, very good. Lagabe Kiddush, so the Elia Rabbah, he brings some opinions that Lechatchila, he says, that looks like you should do Kiddush, Lechatchila. In case, let's say you don't have, let's say the shul don't do Kiddush, you have a piece of cake with you. He says, if you don't have ability to make Kiddush, says you could eat your cake without the Kiddush also. That's what the Elia Rabbah says. The nearly the b'shat chag and lo yain upas rak peiras v'chol hashliba. And furthermore, he says you just have let's say fruits with you. Mutar litam below kiddush. The shlismach was the ala Raivad. The Raivad holds that that before mussaf you could eat without kiddush. V'oid and further another point is that the b'zeh shlismach al nachlas tzvish kosav the lochal kiddush koda mussaf. Bechlal koda mussaf there is no chi of kiddush. Because the real Suda you could do after Kiddush. Bach l'shitosa, Vayim you could do Suda before, so and Kiddush l'mokem Suda, you have Suda, make a Kiddush. But according to Nachlas Tzvi, you cannot make full Suda. This is Zman Suda after Musaf. If it's not Zman Suda, it's like in the morning, eating a piece of cake and coffee. You don't make Kiddush. Now also, so we made Lechatchila again. Lechatchila, we do the Kiddush. In case you don't have ability, you don't have wine, you don't have grape juice, you could eat your mazonis without a kiddush also, yeah?
On Rosh Hashanah, like, sometimes like Musaf goes very late.
Right.
Finish Musaf.
Right.
So isn't there an idea you're not supposed to fast on a yantif? So how does
Oh,
that work?
so it's a very good. However, on Rosh Hashanah, people make a legaba the fasting also. Yeah, lechatchila we should. That's why we should finish by chatzos. But the Rosh Hashanah is more make a legaba the fasting because some people used to fast on Rosh Hashanah. Legaba Rosh Hashanah. Again, there is more coolers on this.
So it's okay to...
Yeah, but most people, though, they do have te'ima, whether it's a coffee, whether it's a cake, whether a boat. Most people have te'ima before, so it's not fasting anyway. That's not a... But l'chatchila on Rosh Hashanah...
But what's preferable? To like have a little coffee before, just so you're...
I mentioned yesterday, it all depends on you, meaning like this. If you have... Some people have no problem... they're easy fasters, they're no problem for them to go all davening till 3 o'clock, then that's the ideal, because you're going to hear shofar without eating, your mom is preparing yourself with, away from gashmiyus, spiritual more, something davening mussaf with that, that's the ideal, if you could. But if somebody, cholashliba, he can't, he's going to think the whole davening, instead of the bashefer, is going to think of my coffee or whatever you're waiting to eat, then that's not how you daven. Then it's better to it's better to otherwise preferable to eat before the shtei kadam lakamench. Handel, you want to say something, Handel?
Yeah, the question you were just saying about the eating. No, the question mussaf is, what's the zman of mussaf? I mean, if you're davening late, let's say,
right.
At what point do you say that maybe you're already past that zman?
And you should daven mincha first.
No, because that's a different story.
Yes.
I'm saying, but you were first saying that you have to eat because of the zman of mussaf has to be before. You have to finish mussaf to eat, right? Is that what you were saying?
There is an opinion of the Nachlas Tzvi, that it's not Zman Su'uda before Musaf. I mean, you cannot wash according to him. Okay. Te'ima you could have though.
But what if you're davening a different later? What is that Zman? He's saying it's not Zman Suda yet. You're saying if you finish...
Doesn't make a difference. As long as you didn't daven Musaf, you cannot eat according to him. By the way, I did. I was one time in Borberg many years ago by Rosh Hashanah. A big Talmud Chacham, the Rav was over there, and he did not make Kiddush before Musaf. He gave people to eat. Says, you don't need to make Kiddush, he said. He went to the Nachlas Tzvi over here.
Eat before Musaf on Rosh Hashanah, you say?
A lot of people. Again, it's all, I'm not recommending to you if you don't need to, but if somebody, it's going to help him to continue davening b'kavana, a little bit eating, so get the eating out of the way.